forgot. Who phoned you and told you that you had made it to the Hall of Fame? Where were you when you found out?
My wife and I were actually on a little vacation. The kids were with the grandparents. We were out on Vancouver Island on our way back to BC here for the summer, which we've done since I started playing hockey. And yeah, when that call came, obviously it was a pretty special moment. A lot of people had kind of mentioned, yeah, you should have your phone on, you might be getting a call, and you don't really want to expect it or think too much about it. But you know, once the call did come from people at the Hall of Fame, some of the selection committee, it felt pretty good.
Well, who did you phone first to tell them that you had got in, and what was their reaction?
Yeah, that's another good question. You know, me and my wife were together, so she knew right away when I started talking on the phone what was going on. So I didn't have to tell her anything. She was pretty excited. And then the first two people I phoned were my parents. You know, obviously, as most of us, you know, great support from them. My brother and I, the support and sacrifices they made for us was pretty amazing at a young age. You know, when we were growing up. So they were the first two calls.
Everyone said you were a first ballot Hall of Famer. Did you feel the same way? Were you expecting the call?
I still don't feel like a Hall of Famer. You know, I'm sure it's going to take a long time to sink in. You know, you look at even just the group of inductees that I'm with coming up in the fall. It's hard to believe I'm one of those people. But then you look at the players and people in the Hall of Fame and what they've accomplished. I still don't feel like a Hall of Famer. I don't know when that happens, but I don't feel like one yet. So,
how does this compare to winning the Stanley Cup?
It's a lot different, you know, than winning a championship, a Stanley Cup. You know, those are goals that you have and you're kind of competing towards, and you know, you're working at it. This is kind of different. This is obviously a reflection on your whole career and what you've accomplished and things that you've done, and pretty tough to set out, you know, back when I was drafted to the NHL, that this was going to be a goal of mine to make the Hall of Fame. I mean, you would never even dare to dream that. So I've just been really fortunate. Been in good places with a lot of good teammates, coaches, you know, great situations, and had some success. And you know, I guess this is the outcome. So,
have you visited the Hall of Fame before? And when you have gone there, what exhibit did you love the most?
I've been there a couple times, and actually quite briefly. My kids have probably been there more than I have to the Hall of Fame, but you know, they do a great job. You know, the displays of all the different things, the history of hockey is amazing, you know, so you look at how things have changed with things, players, the sticks and everything that players use. And I never really went up and sort of looked at all the plaques of all the Hall of Famers that have been inducted over the years. And I'm sure when we go there in the fall, we'll spend some time looking around and really soaking it in. And maybe at that point it'll kind of start to sink in, but maybe I'll have to just keep going back and making sure my whatever plaque or whatever is up on the wall, because it is a pretty hard thing to believe that you're one of the players in the Hall of Fame.
You were on so many championship teams in your career. As great as you were, how lucky do you feel since so many great players never experience even one championship season? That's
exactly right. I mean, I just, you know, looking back now after having been retired for 3 years, just feel very, very fortunate for many reasons. And a big reason is being part of great organizations. You really, here in Cranbrook, you know, started playing here. We had a good team, good coaches, had some successes, minor hockey league players here. I went on to Kamloops to play there for the Blazers, a great organization where we had success, and then played for 2 organizations in the NHL that, you know, were good organizations, well run, you know, ownership, management, coaches, and had success. So I can look around at, you know, at different players, friends, you know, that have been in different situations where the organizations, for whatever reason, you know, maybe haven't had that chance to win. And I always felt I had that. So I was lucky that I was in the right place at the right time.
Can you even believe your resume when you look at it?
Not really. I mean, people like to read it out, you know, at times like this, but just how lucky I was, you know, like I just said, really fortunate. I learned from a lot of great coaches, had the support of so many great teammates, learned from them. You know, they bailed me out. You know, you think of Marty Brodeur, a goalie I played in front of for many years. I probably can't count how many times he saved my bacon after I made a mistake or got beat, and he bailed me out with a big save. So hockey is truly a team game, and you know, I had many, many great teammates.
How much do you miss playing?
There's definitely parts of playing that I do miss, parts of it that I don't miss. And you know, I've enjoyed the last few years being retired. kind of giving back a little bit to my kids and their sports and different things. And then also working with the Ducks. I've enjoyed that. It's a different look at the game, different situation, sort of being part of the coaching staff this last year, and I look forward to doing that again this year. So I've enjoyed it. There's parts of the game I'll always miss. It's a great game, and like I said, great friends and teammates that you spend a lot of time with, but I'm enjoying some of the new things I've been doing.
Do you go into the Hall feeling like a New Jersey Devil or an Anaheim Duck?
Now that's a tough question. You know, like I said, I was very fortunate to be able to play for two really, really good organizations in the NHL. A lot of players, you know, rarely get that chance, and if they do, maybe it's only briefly that they get the chance. So getting drafted to New Jersey, I was there the longest, won 3 Stanley Cups there, so you know, it's probably fair to say that if I had to make the choice, that would be it. But they treated me very well in Anaheim. We won a championship there. I got to play with my brother, and I'm proud that I was a Devil, and proud that I was a Duck as well.
Did you ever regret not getting a chance to play for a Canadian team?
You know, I don't regret it. It would have been a new, different experience. There's no doubt about it. You know, the 2 places I played were a little bit off, you know, as far as hockey markets. You know, you get away from the rink and you can kind of blend in, and part of my personality enjoyed that. But, you know, getting an opportunity to play in the Olympics in Vancouver, in Canada, you know, it's pretty special. A couple other tournaments I've participated took place up here, and it is a lot of fun. It means a lot when you have the passion of the fans and their support going into those games. And I got a little bit of taste of it here and there, and yeah, I never got to play obviously a full season, but a few big tournaments.
Which piece of advice that you got in your career stayed with you the whole time, and who gave you that piece of advice?
I learned so much from a lot of great people, coaches, teammates. I would have to probably say just things my parents taught me growing up, you know, about good sportsmanship and respect and hard work. I mean, those are simple lessons, but they really do work. And you know, that's probably the big reason, just the things that our parents taught us as we were growing up, and that they demanded, I guess, you know, hard work, respect, your teammates, the other team, all those type of things. And being a team player. I mean, hockey's a team game, and it's not all about one individual, and they definitely taught us that. So I would, you know, just being fortunate growing up with my parents, the amount of time they put in with us, and the things they taught us, I think still benefit me to this day. Maybe I'm still learning it too, but you know, they helped us a lot.
Is there anything you'd like to say that I haven't asked you about today?
No, I mean, those are pretty good questions. So, you know, it's...
Your friend Len Bouquet,
yeah,
he says, you know, whenever they talk about your career and everything that you've won,
yeah,
they rarely speak about the Pee Wee Championship here, which hasn't been won before or since.
Yeah, yeah. I do think back myself to that a lot. I mean, you know, when I do say how lucky I've been in great places I've played, growing up here in Cranbrook, I mean, a real good sports town. You know, being fortunate enough to win 2 provincial titles, you know, a Pee Wee provincial title and a Bantam provincial title. Len Bouquet was our coach, along with a few other guys, and just great coaches. They knew the game. We had a great group of players, friends, guys I still keep in touch with, and I definitely think back to those times as good as any as I've ever had as a hockey player. You know, it didn't matter, you know, playing for your country and in the Olympics in Vancouver. I mean, a huge thrill. But it was a huge thrill to go down to the rink with your buddies to the provincial championships and compete for your provincial title in the same way. So, you know, I was lucky right from the get-go. The fact I got to play hockey here, grew up here in a great town, and had great coaches. Just, you know, like guys like Len Bouquet, Colin Patterson, who coached my brother. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'd be forgetting names if I started trying to name them. Let me try. Frank Spring, Gord Ratcliffe, Pud Downey, Ted Hurd, Marv Ferg. You know, I'm sure Peter Lehman, you know, I'm sure I'm missing names, but just a lot of great coaches that knew the game, and I benefit a lot from learning from those guys.
Yeah. I'd like to say on behalf of Squire Barnes and the sports team at Global TV, congratulations for your induction into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like I said, it's going to take a while to sink in, but I'm excited about it, and it's obviously a heck of an honor. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.